Michelle Knight was the first of 3 young women to be lured into his house in Cleveland, Ohio. There she was held together with Gina DeJesus and Amanda Berry until on May the 6th, 2013, Amanda managed to alert a Spanish neighbour to their plight. The neighbour kicked down the door and helped Amanda call the police.
Help me, I'm Amanda Berry.
You need police, fire, or ambulance?
I need police.
Okay, and what's going on there?
I've been kidnapped and I've been missing for 10 years and I'm here, I'm free now.
Okay, and what's your address?
2207 Seymour Avenue.
Policía llegó.
The police arrived. She ran over and hugged them.
See, that girl Amanda told the police, I ain't just the only one. It's some more girls up in that house.
We found them. We found them. Georgina Days. We also have a Michelle Knight in the house. I don't know if you want to look that up in the radio, the system. 32 years old.
As we were going up the steps, it was so quiet, like peaceful, and then you hear this scuffling, you know, something going on in this room. And it was Michelle. She kind of popped out into the doorway.
She jumped up into my arms and held on to me and screamed, "Please don't let me go, please don't let me go." I said, "Honey, don't worry, I'm not letting you go."
Michelle was 21 when she was lured to Castro's house in 2002. She'd been in a shop where she'd bumped into him. He offered her a lift, and as she'd known his daughter at school, she was not suspicious. She even went into the house without any fear. We talked yesterday, and she told me what happened next.
He told me that I'll be here for a little while. He just wanted me as a friend and a companion. He wanted somebody that would stay there with him repeatedly, you know, just to be there. And then he proceeded to tie me up, and he, like, hung me from both sides of the wall, and I was, like, up in the air. I didn't touch the ground at all.
And what did you say to him?
I begged him to let me go. I begged him that I needed to be with my son. My son needed me right now. And he said, why should I do that when my family couldn't do that for me when I needed them? That's what he'll say.
So how then did it move on? How did he treat you day by day?
Day by day, it was very horrible. Sometimes he starved me. Sometimes he hit me around. Sometimes he took, you know, what the outside people were doing to him and took it out on me. Because he would sit there and say, well, everybody made me so angry and I have nowhere to release it.
And he raped you?
Yes.
Day after day after day. How did you cope with that?
It was hard, but, you know, going through what I went through with my family and everything helped me cope a little bit more with what I was going through. I was able to accept it more.
Because you had quite a difficult childhood.
Yes. So it made me adapt to what I was going through. Instead of, you know, making it worse for myself, I made it better for myself.
But how did you cope when he told you, no one out there is looking for you?
It was very hard, but I knew from the get-go nobody was looking for me. So it wasn't like I missed anything, you know what I mean? My family and I were, like, distant, very distant. It wasn't like a loving, nurturing family. I never had the love and support that, you know, everybody else's family gave to their children. It was very difficult for me. So when he told me that, I was like, oh, well, I already knew that. I didn't need you to tell me, you know what I mean?
You know, one of the most shocking moments in the book is when you describe him allowing you to have a shower. Just describe to me what you were feeling like, what you looked like on that day when he said go on and have a shower.
To be quite honest with you, I felt disgusting. I looked at myself in the mirror and all I seen was a battered woman. A woman with bruises on every part of her face. A person that had swollen eyes from crying so much. A pale face. I looked hideous. I didn't see myself in that mirror. couldn't see myself at all.
And his bathroom was disgusting.
Yes, it had mold on the ceiling. It had mold coming down the sides of the tub. It was like the toilet was about to fall in the floor. It was just a really nasty situation to be in.
There was also a period when he forced you to be naked for 6 months through the winter with no blankets. How did you deal with that?
It was hard, but I guess because it was cold and numbing, I didn't really feel very much. I just passed in and out most of the time. And when I was up, I thought about my son. You know how they say, keep a focus on something? My focus was my son. It helped me overcome all the numbness, all the pain that I was feeling. And I would just sit there and sing to myself, even if it was just babbling. I would sing to myself.
You tried to wrap yourself in your pillow because it was the only thing.
Yeah, it was a comfort, you know, to wrap yourself, and it's kind of like laying in a fetal position, just to keep the warmth. You know how like somebody, like how like they say, pack snow over you when you're cold. Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to do.
Now you became pregnant a number of times. What happened when you became pregnant? What did he do?
He was very evil about it. He said that we can't have a child here. A child makes too much noise. So he proceeded to beat me, starve me, knock me downstairs, hit me with objects in my stomach just to make it go away. And if it didn't go away the first time, he would keep on going until it went away.
It's just so awful. How did you deal with that? Miscarriage after miscarriage.
At the time, I felt very alone. And it was a very hard feeling to actually sit there and say that you lost a child. Because you think about it until this day. What could that child been? What did that child look like? And how could I made it better for her or him? And the reality is, there's nothing you can really do about it.
2 more girls were then brought into the house after you, Gina and Amanda. And you say in the book that you became the most hated girl in the house when they arrived. What do you mean by that?
Because they had family, they had friends, they had people looking for them. And the comment that he gave me is that if I kill you right now, nobody will give a damn. Nobody will look for you. Nobody even knows you're here. And with the other girls, he felt accustomed and thought, I can treat them better because they got family, they got friends. They were like the people that are most wanted in the world.
But did he treat them better?
He treated them better, like, by giving them better food. He treated, like, let's say me. I had maybe a chicken leg and a strip of rice. That's all I had to eat. For 2 to 3 days. Sometimes I didn't even get that. And I would only get like a small glass of water or maybe pop. And it was very tiny. Compared to what they got. They got like Subway sandwiches. They got like McDonald's. They got like other things that was like more than what I got. And I would see them eating, and then I would look at my food and I'll cry because they got more food than I did.
Were you able to make a relationship with them at all? Was there any comfort in having 2 other women there?
Yeah, there was a tremendous comfort with having 2 other girls there. At least, we were able to talk about our situation. We were able to sit there and say how we felt. We would sit there and comfort each other when we were down. Like, let's say he hit me, they will come up to me but when he wasn't around, and say, I'm sorry that this happened to you, and I hope we get out of here soon before something bad or worse happens.
Now, Amanda got pregnant.
Yes.
And you were told by him to help deliver her baby. What were you able to do for her?
I was able to comfort her to the point where, you know, she was able to have the baby, even though she pushed a little too soon. But, you know, she made it. And when I breathed life into that little girl, it was an amazing feeling to do.
Because she wasn't breathing immediately
yes,
she was born.
I felt I was proud of myself because I didn't do what people done to me. Even though, you know, during the process of delivering the baby, I know he sat there and said that if you hurt my child, I'll kill you. Or if anything goes wrong, I'll kill you. I'm not like other people. I don't take pride in abusing somebody else just because somebody hurt me.
You refer to him throughout the book as the dude. You never once use his name. Why?
Because I feel that he didn't deserve a name because he took my identity away. He took my name away. He made me something that I wasn't. He called me every name in the book from whore, slut, you know, and then the last name was quite decent. It's because I picked it myself. It was Juju. And it was because I liked the Juju beads.
How did you retain your sanity through all of this?
I thought of my son 100% of the way. I told myself I had to defeat this demon so I can tell my son how I survived it. And, you know, surviving this was hard. And it is hard to cope. But, you know, going through all the things that I went through, I don't regret nothing I went through. It made me who I am today. It made me a stronger woman. It made me be able to tell my story and help others. And let people know there still are missing people out there that we need to look for, that we need to be concerned about, even if we don't know their names.
Was there ever a time when the three of you got together and thought, we could do something here, we could overcome him, we could escape? Was that ever something the three of you considered?
Me and Gina thought about it, but the reality was if we didn't make it out and we didn't make it to a police real fast, that we didn't want her to die. Because he always would threaten us. If you run, I'm going to kill this one. If you run, I'm going to kill this one. That's how he made us stay in the house. We protected each other. Because we didn't want either one of us to go anywhere. We wanted to make it out all together.
So what happened on the day you were released?
Oh my goodness, it was terrifying. Because at first I thought we were being broken into. I didn't really think, you know, that there was a cop there. So slowly but surely I actually, you know, come to realize, hey, it's a cop. So I run straight out the door into the cop's arms and tell her not to let me down. Don't put me down. Don't put me down. And then when she did put me down, she said, go tell your friend that we're going to take you guys home.
What was going through your mind when you realized, I'm out of there?
It was chaotic. It was emotional. The only thing I can think of is when I walked out the door, I wanted to kiss the ground that I walk on and thank God for every day He kept me alive, because I'm here. I'm here and I'm breathing and I'm happy.
Now, we've talked about the fact that you've never used his name, but why did you decide to testify against him? The other women didn't.
It was a healing process. I wanted him to know exactly what he has done to me and how it made me feel and how he didn't define who I was at that point in time. And I wanted him to know that.
Who's helped you since your release?
Since my release, I had for a couple months a therapist, but then I started to realize therapy didn't really work for me. I was more than likely the type of person throughout my whole entire life. I self-therapeutic myself. So I was like, you know, I think I'm going to go back to what I did when I was younger. I'm going to go back to drawing. I'm going to go back to singing. I'm going to go back to dancing. I'm going to go back to boxing. I'm going to do the things that I did before. And that helped me tremendously. Throughout this whole process, it made my emotional state so much better without the therapist. And most people say, you know, therapy is so much better. I'm looking at them, I was like, therapy is just not for me. And I'll write in my book every day about the certain things that go on in my life. And I'll even write about the bad things. Like, let's say somebody sat there and said something really stupid on TV, or somebody said something really stupid on the street, and I'll write it down, and I'll be like, I feel so much better now.
So what now? What are you hoping to do now?
I'm hoping to open up a restaurant. And it's going to be a multicultural restaurant. I'm also hoping that I find a really nice trainer, because I'm hoping to one day win my first fight. I want to be a professional.
So you're boxing again?
Yes. I love it. It's so therapeutic and it's so wonderful.
Michelle, I have to say, you are not tall. You're quite a small person. How easy is it for you to box when you're probably not as tall as your opponents?
To be honest with you, this is a funny story. His name is Marshall. He's 7 foot tall, and we were just like play boxing in the club. You know, we were like just getting it in, and the next thing you know, he was like, "Girl, you got rock hard fists. You almost knocked me flat on my butt." I'm like, I just laughed. I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't know my own strength. I almost literally knocked a 7 foot tall guy on the floor.
So clearly height doesn't
No. It's like what they say. It's not the size, it's what you use with your size.
Just one final point, Michelle. I mean, having had time now to reflect on those 11 years that you had to endure the dude, what kind of man did what Castro did?
He was a type of guy that wanted to be heard, but he didn't allow himself to be heard. He wanted help, and he did it in the most profound way, if you know what I mean. You know, it's like being in a school and they shoot up the school. It's always people listen when they're dead. You know what I mean? He wanted a family. He wanted to be loved. He didn't have that love from his family. Everybody walked out of his life. I understand because I went through the same thing. My family walked out of my life. My family didn't care. So I take myself out of the equation of being a victim, and I look from his point. He did everything that he was taught. And when you're taught that, there's some people that ain't strong enough to overcome that. And they end up doing exactly what was done to them. And if people would do less judgment, people like him, or people like the person that shot up the school, would come out and say, gosh, I need help. I'm sorry that I did this. I wish I never did it, but I did it and I really need help.
You sound as if you forgive him.
Yes, I do.
Was that hard?
Very. It's like what I say to people, you could always forgive, but you'll never forget. It's more easier to forgive.
I was talking to Michelle Knight, and her book about her ordeal is called Finding Me, A Decade of Darkness, A Life Reclaimed. And I think an awful lot of you were as impressed by her as I was. Sarah says, I'm just in awe. What an amazing woman. Incredible. Karen says, listening to Michelle Knight, what an amazingly courageous woman, a heartbreaking story. And Eleanor says, listening to her and considering not complaining about anything in my life for a very long while. Thank you all very much for your tweets.